Welcome and thank you for joining me. Another repair video, and I have an issue. Noise when driving. The suspect is a particular wheel bearing, but I can definitely hear it coming from the front of the car. This method, do this at your own risk because the vehicle is above the ground on all four wheels, so pretty dangerous, especially with the wheels spinning. And I'm gonna be using this tool. It's a stethoscope that you can get at your local hardware store. We're gonna start the vehicle, put it into drive, spin the wheels and listen. Try to differentiate which one it is. What's interesting is that I caught this noise early in its stages, so it was hard to hear it. I bet if I would drive more time, more kilometers, the noise would be worse and it would be easier to pinpoint using the method I show you here. So, pointing at the spring or at the strut itself, I can definitely hear some noise. Probably it's also the brake pads rubbing against the rotors. And another method is just to grab the spring, and you might feel the vibration, the grinding of the bearing in your hands just by grabbing the spring. And let me tell you that both sides the noise was identical, so I came to a conclusion that both of the wheel bearings up front needs replacing, and I do recommend replacing them in pairs. Before we continue, let me introduce you to the tailgate module, which will allow you to remotely close it. If you own a XC70 or V70 from 2008 to 2017 with power liftgate, the module installs up here. It's an easy installation, and this will allow you to remotely close the tailgate without stepping out from the car. So let me demonstrate how it works. After the install, well, you can open it using the remote or the inside button, and now with the module, with a long press on the remote, it will close it. Very convenient, very recommended, and it's available for order. There is lots in stock for you. Just email your VIN to moduleorder@gmail.com and you can get it. And as well, I'm gonna show you here, you can close it from inside. If you're ordering this one, I would also advise you to get another one to save on shipping. This one will, the taillights module will activate your vertical taillights. XC70 and V70 from the years up here on the screen. And this is the look you're gonna get, because from factory only the bottom ones light up as you drive. An amazing look. I've been using this module for many years now. It's available. Again, email your VIN to make sure that those modules will fit your Volvo, and by ordering you will support the channel. So go ahead and order one. Let's begin. This is what I got. Shaeffler brand. The part numbers will be mentioned in the description below. And very surprising, made in China, not anywhere close to Europe. I've been keeping them in the freezer. And this is actually FAG brand, which is the OEM manufacturer for Volvo. So should be a good quality part, despite being made in China, and a lot of the things Volvo is now sourcing from China. So hopefully the quality is there. Along the wheel bearings, new style dust protective rings. This is the part number for them. My car is 09, uses an older version of dust protectors. You'll see later the difference. So I got two for both sides. The axle bolts are one-time use. They're stretch bolts. Part numbers will be below. And pinch bolts for the ball joints. Glad I got them. So this is the tool we're gonna be using. I'll show you how everything. This is to remove. This is to install. install, remove. Longer ones are remove, shorter ones are install. Now we're gonna practice on the passenger side. I'm not gonna record it, and we'll show you the complete process on the driver's side. So the passenger side is done. Let's begin. We have more experience now. My friend Jan here is helping me out. Glad that he was there. Let's begin to disassemble everything. First of all, we want to compress the piston on the brakes. Just use a screwdriver and push the piston in. The caliper is held by two special bolts, and I forgot to remember what size they were. They were hex, I think 9mm. Put it so I can see without your hand. Yeah, put it in.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me see them now. Secure the caliper so it doesn't put pressure on the brake hose. We're using a zip tie. Oh, breaker bar, 18mm.
Loose.
Now see the number on the caliper bracket up top, 316. That's the size of your rotors. 316mm rotors on my Volvo. Bring the bolts here. $13mm axle nut. Now the shield has three 8mm bolts, very rusted. Those shields are expensive. I think they're gonna last me a little bit longer before I will need to replace those. One here. Yep. Maybe hammer it first so it sits well. The passenger side bolt here on the bolt joint was very hard to remove, completely rusted away. We struggled a lot with this bolt, so make sure to order new ones. Now the other struggle is to disconnect the knuckle from the bolt joint. It took us at least 20 minutes, both of us, to try and separate it, using a pry bar and a hammer and some heat. This was probably the most difficult part, to separate the ball joint, and finally it went. Yep, finally. As you can see, we didn't disconnect the steering end, but we did on the passenger side, unnecessary. This metal thing, I have no idea what it is for. The ball joint is still okay, but definitely coming to its end of life. So next summer a whole front new end, like I
These
did
ones are very close to
the
be
rear
short.
before. I replaced everything on the rear.
Yeah.
Next, just tap the axle away, not hard at all. And now we can finally hear how the bearing feels in the hand and doesn't make any noise. So definitely the bearing is bad, and again I caught it very early, so it just started making the noise.
So the tool, so I remember, this is the removal. The black one is to remove, the small one is to remove, the long ones for removal. Installation is the bigger one with smaller studs. These two secure the halves, and this what pulls on the plate. Let's do it.
To press out the bearing, we're using the black halves, secure them with the bolts provided. The black halves will be pushing against the knuckle. Now we take the small
So this is the removal one.
washer, the
Goes
smaller
from
size.
behind.
It goes from the back, and this is what's gonna pull on the bearing from inside. By the way, you don't need to remove the ABS sensor, as you can see here.
The bearing out. Okay.
So as you can see, this big washer will pull the bearing out. Make sure to lubricate this long bolt, and I would even advise not to use WD-40, use an actual engine oil, much better. Using the longer studs, now we're gonna align the tool inside, align it, the studs on the halves, so they sit in their 4 positions.
The back.
And from the back,
Where's the bolt?
we're gonna tighten the big screw. It's a 30 millimeter nut. So
And
that's
right
gonna be the
here we
counter
have
hold, and a 22 millimeter up
So
front.
no impact, just the bar.
Clockwise,
and the extension.
we're gonna pull the bearing out. Now, we started by using the long extension bar here, but later on we're just gonna use a power tool. Much easier, much faster. And
Okay, go ahead.
the whole knuckle is loose, so just reinstall the ball joint into the knuckle, so this would not happen to you. That's what we did. The ball joint is in, and now it's much more sturdy.
Against this, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Need a rest. Yeah, no.
Wait, I'm gonna hold and tighten now. Oh, everything. Oh, the sensor. Oh, inside.
The bearing is out. Here is the ABS sensor, intact. We didn't damage it, and you don't have to remove it. So the bearing is out, and we can now compare it to the new one.
Yeah. It's shot. Hold it. Spin this way. Spin this one. Anyway, it's bad. And this one? Smooth?
Yes.
So the knuckle is well prepared to receive the new bearing. I'm gonna clean everything off nicely.
Let me help.
So the silver halves are the ones that gonna push on the outer race on the bearing to drive it into the knuckle. It's an 82mm tool for Volvo, Ford,
So
Mazda.
this time we're using the bigger
And now
one.
we're gonna be using
and
the
now
black
it acts
spacer.
as
As you can
counterhold.
see,
You
it's
can
gonna
see
allow
it's
the
clearly
bearing
here.
as a counter hold to get pressed in.
This one we can put away. We're using the shorter studs. And this silver one is now, as you can see, so this is pushing on the outer race this way. So it's driving the outer race into here. Over here. Looks like we have some dirt.
This is where the ABS sensor reads the signal from a spinning wheel. Now it's all a matter of installing everything and trying to make sure that it's as straight as possible into the knuckle so it doesn't go crooked into the knuckle. So make sure to pay attention to that. And as you can see, kinda straight, all ready to push it in.
I think that's it.
And just stop when it stops going in. Remove everything.
Good. Let me record from the back.
Make sure to clean any debris, very important, so you don't go get any error codes. Now I decided to include my error. So this is the original dust shield. As you
Where
can
is the
see,
new one?
it doesn't do much. Just look at the new style.
Look at
It's
the
gonna
difference.
protect more than the original one. So make sure you replace
nothing.
yours. And the mistake that we did is that we installed those new plastic rings the other way. And that caused a big headache. So this was the
plastic.
wrong way to install it.
The slides.
And I decided to include it in the video because I drove 2,000 kilometers after replacing the bearings and I got ABS message that the front left wheel doesn't get any signal. And this is where the VDD from the Czech guys from D5T5, honestly, that VDD helped me a lot because I could on the fly see the trouble codes as I drive. 2,000 kilometers later, ABS light is on, cruise control doesn't work, transmission shifts weird, dynamic stability, ABS service required messages. And this video is sponsored by d5t5.com. The guys from Czech Republic are working hard to make your Volvo better. This is VDD. Get yours today using my 15% off discount code Volvo Sweden 15. This device will allow you to online monitor, configure and diagnose your Volvo. It's a small device that will get into the OBD2 socket and it's gonna live there. You download the app from the App Store or for any Android device, so it works on iPhones and Androids. And let me show you how this helped me in this situation. As soon as the ABS light came on, I logged in as I'm driving and I could see the error codes immediately. Without connecting any computers, any diagnostic tools, I could see the first error code here: left front tone wheel, general failure, information, mechanical failure. So this was the error that indicated my left wheel, something is going on with it. I could also, using the VDD, erase the codes, and it actually let me continue driving using the cruise control. The message kept coming back, but I was still able to erase it until it finally completely stayed on. So get your VDD. You can remotely start the car if you have that feature. Remotely start your preheater on your Volvo if it's equipped, and I really recommend it. Thanks for D5T5 for that, and let's continue. So 2,000 kilometers later, I found the issue. I had to order a new bearing, a new dust cap, and a new ABS sensor. All because I have installed this dust cap wrong way. And as you can see, it's broken in half. It's all crooked. It's worn out. So this was the wrong way to install it. Who knew? It just made sense to put it like that, but it was actually supposed to be this way to protect the bearing sensor ring from getting any dirt and water and debris, anything. So look what happened. By installing it the way I did, it actually contacted the sensor ring on the bearing, completely wore it out. So that's why I had the ABS message, because it damaged the ring on the bearing. I'm gonna show you here. As you can see, it's all shaved off and it took some time to happen, so the fault didn't come up immediately. And let me show you another new bearing. See the difference? This is a very sensitive area. There is, I think, magnets inside. That's how the ABS sensor knows the wheel is spinning. Compared to the damaged one, irreparable. I had to get a new bearing, so more money, and I'm doing this repair again. I was lucky to catch it on time, and I saved the passenger side. For some reason it didn't damage the passenger side bearing. So this is the way it's supposed to be on the axle, and not like that. So this time the ring will go the proper way. So I'm doing this job second time. The bearing is removed, the damaged one, new damaged one. And I'm gonna check on the ABS sensor, because I have a feeling like something's going on. So I ordered an aftermarket sensor, because the Volvo one is like 160 Canadian dollars. This one was like $25. So I'm gonna quickly show you what I did. The ABS sensor, the old one, is removed. I'm gonna clean the surface and let's compare. So look at the damaged damage it caused. So this is the original sensor, and the ring shaved into the sensor. So as the axle was spinning, it actually ate through a groove. I'm very surprised that this sensor is still functioning, but I was glad that Yang told me, you know what, you're ordering a new bearing, get a new sensor for the sake of it. And you can see the difference. I think there was also some, I don't know, maybe heat involved, because look at the edge. I'm gonna show you now the edge. It's actually, the original one is the ATE. The edge, yeah, right here, see? Just look at this. I don't know how and what caused it, but it definitely doesn't look good. Yep, so glad I got a new sensor. We're gonna install it. So I cleaned as best as I could before installing the new one in. I'm not gonna show you the installation of the bearing. We've done it before, well, 2000 kilometers ago. So we're gonna push in the new sensor in, reinstall the screw, and this time the protective ring will go the proper way. And again, we've disassembled the passenger side and we've flipped it over. Luckily, it didn't cause any damage. And now we can finally start assembling back everything together. And actually, this time I'm doing this job myself. Yang is not there. That's a different day. And everything went smooth because I knew what I'm doing. Everything was already, all the bolts were disassembled, so it was pretty easy. Let's take a look from inside. So as you can see, this plastic ring will prevent any debris from entering, like mud, dust, water. This will prevent codes, because if mud gets into there, you might get bad reading.
15
New pinch bolt for the
ball
ball joint, a must. And now I'm gonna torque everything to spec. Next summer, hopefully, I will redo the whole front end. All the suspension will be new. So the ball joint is 110 Newton meters.
Okay.
Yeah, no, like this. Go, go, go.
What's
So 35 Newton meters. And now go 90 degree.
90 degree?
Yeah.
90 degree, why? Oh. Okay.
Good. Now the bracket. Yeah, go for it.
No.
Why? Huh? Clicked. It's good enough.
On the side, on the clay.
It's fine. Yeah, 200.
Okay. Press.
So my mistake proves that I'm not a professional mechanic. I just do it myself on my Volvos. Comment below what you think, if this video was helpful to you. Let me tell you that after replacing both bearings, the car just drives so quiet. And I regret I didn't do the rear bearings when I did the rear suspension. Honestly regret it. I should have done it when everything was apart. So don't forget about the tailgate module and the taillights module for your Volvo. This will support the channel if you order one or two. And don't forget the VDD dongle from d5t5.com. And this was a good example how it helped me on the go. I didn't have to connect any diagnostics. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.